All right, let's dive in. Today, we're looking at a 20-year forecast that's going to completely change how you and I think about content. And I'm not talking about just new apps or fancier cameras. We're talking about a total rewrite of what creativity, influence, and even reality itself actually means.
Just let that sink in for a second. This quote really sets the stage. The change that's coming is so huge, it's predicted to make the creative world we live in right now look, well, ancient.
So here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll kick things off with this so-called creative Big Bang. Then we'll move through three distinct eras: the AI invasion, the human response, and the rise of the architects. After that, we'll see how this splinters the globe, and we'll end by asking, where do you fit in all this? Okay, let's start with Era 1, the AI invasion, which is predicted to run from 2026 to 2032. This is where AI stops being just a neat little tool we play with and becomes like a core part of the entire creative industry. And things start moving very, very fast. And when I say fast, I mean it. By 2026, we're already seeing the first agencies that only manage synthetic AI-generated idols. Just 2 years later, you can actually license a creator's voice clone to, say, narrate your life. And by 2032, creators are shooting blockbuster-level movies from their living rooms using Meta Studios. But the real game changer happens right in the middle there, around 2030. And that brings us to this wild concept called hyperdubbing. Now, this is way more than just translation. This is total cultural adaptation. We're talking about an AI that doesn't just change the words. It rewrites jokes, swaps out cultural references, and even alters facial expressions, so a video feels like it was made locally. For any audience, anywhere in the world. All those cultural and language barriers, they just, poof, they're gone. But of course, there's a counter-reaction, right? The internet gets absolutely flooded with flawless AI content, and suddenly a whole new market pops up: verified reality. This authenticity shield becomes a digital stamp, a guarantee that what you're watching was actually filmed by a real person. Raw, unfiltered, messy human experience. It literally becomes a luxury good. And that obsession with authenticity leads us straight into Era 2, the human response, from 2033 to 2040. This is the point where society stops just, adapting to the new tech and starts to really fracture into these deep ideological camps based on their feelings about AI. And this is the great divide. On one side, you've got the biopurists. These are the people who crave the messy, flawed, totally authentic human stuff. But on the other side, you've got the synthesers, who would much rather have the perfect, endlessly creative, super personalized content that only an AI can deliver. It really makes you think, right? Which side would you land on? So in this era, the whole cultural landscape just gets turned on its head. Imagine an AI avatar winning an Oscar or a Grammy. That alone sends Hollywood into a total tailspin. At the same time, we get things like dream vlogs, where artists are literally recording and selling their dreams. And brands, they absolutely flock to these synthetic idols because they're 100% cancel-proof. No scandals, no drama, no aging. Just perfection. But maybe the most profound development here is something called mind casting. Using these new neural interfaces, creators can actually broadcast their raw emotions. So you're not just watching someone play a horror game anymore, you are feeling their jolt of adrenaline, their genuine fear, right along with them. It completely changes passive viewing into this deeply shared emotional experience. And that ability to share feelings, well, that changes everything. It leads us right into the final phase, Era 3, the rise of architects, from 2044 to 2046. The very definition of a creator gets completely rewritten. The human's role isn't about being on camera anymore. It's about something else entirely. Yeah, the term content creator pretty much becomes obsolete. It feels old-fashioned. Instead, we get the architect. An architect's value isn't their face or their personality, it's their vision. Their core skill is prompting, guiding, and curating these massive, complex AI-generated worlds. It's a huge shift from performing to pure world-building. And the reality in this era is honestly mind-bending. Creators basically achieve digital immortality, with their AI models publishing new work long after they're gone. The few human creators still at the top are using neural implants to access all of human knowledge in an instant. And eventually, the law just gives up trying to tell the difference between art made by a person and art made by an AI. They become legally the same. But here's the thing. This future doesn't look the same everywhere. This tech revolution isn't adopted in some big, uniform way. No, deep-seated cultural differences cause the world to fracture into these distinct digital civilizations, and each one has its own philosophy about what creation even is. And you see this fascinating split based on culture. The Asia-Pacific region, for example, really leans into synthetic perfection with AI idols. Europe, on the other hand, doubles down on biological purity and authenticity. North America pushes hyper-capitalism to its limits, while South America focuses on emotional connection through mind-casting. And Africa? It uses this new tech to just leapfrog everyone, building this incredible decentralized creative economy. Each place forges its own unique path. So what we end up with are these 5 completely distinct spheres of influence. We don't have one single global internet culture anymore. Instead, it's a collection of digital civilizations, from the synthetic paradise of Asia to the biopurism of Europe. Each one is a totally different answer to the same technological question. So after this insane 20-year journey, the question really comes back to us. In this new world, what role will you play? Are you going to be a creator in the old sense of the word, a consumer of these new realities, or will you become an architect? And really, that's what this all boils down to. This forecast forces us all to ask a pretty fundamental question. As that line between human creation and AI creation just completely dissolves, where are you going to stand? Will you be a biopurist fighting for flawed, real human art? Will you be a synth eater, embracing the perfect, infinite worlds that AI can build? Or will you be an architect, designing those new realities yourself? The future is coming, and it's going to ask every one of us to choose.